All right, welcome to the deep dive. Today, I'm going to be taking a closer look at something that you've been curious about, the ACCA,
hmm
or the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants. Now, I have to admit, when you sent in your request, I thought, accounting? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, no offense to all the number wizards out there, but it's not exactly known for being the most thrilling topic.
And, well, appearances can be deceiving.
Okay, exactly. And that's why we've got an expert here to help us unpack all this. You've sent over some info from Wikipedia, which seems like a good starting point
Yeah,
to get a solid overview.
definitely. Wikipedia is always a good foundation.
Okay, so let's get down to business.
Mm.
From what I'm gathering, ACCA is this global organization for professional accountants, and they offer this qualification called the Chartered Certified Accountant. That sounds pretty official.
It is. It's a highly recognized and respected qualification in the world of accounting.
So not just some random certificate you get for attending a weekend seminar.
Not at all. This is the real deal. ACCA has a long history, dating back to 1904, and a massive global presence. We're talking over 250,000 members, 500,000 students, and offices in over 50 countries.
Wow. That's a lot of accountants. So they're not just some small local group. They're a global force to be reckoned with. And you mentioned the term chartered. What's the significance of that? It sounds kind of like a royal title or something.
It does have a certain prestige to it. ACCA was granted a royal charter back in 1974 by Queen Elizabeth II herself.
Hold on. You're saying the Queen was like, hey, the ACCA folks are doing a good job. Let's give them a royal stamp of approval.
Pretty much. And the term chartered certified accountant is legally protected, so not just anyone can use it.
So no more signing my tax returns. That's, sir, counts a lot, darn it.
I'm afraid not. You have to earn that title. It signifies a commitment to professionalism, ethical
Yeah.
conduct, and a high level of expertise.
So it's a big deal. It makes sense. You wouldn't want just anyone messing with your finances. But let's rewind a bit. You mentioned ACCA started back in 1904. Who were these pioneers who decided to create this global accounting powerhouse?
It was a group of 8 forward-thinking individuals who saw a need for a more accessible and inclusive accounting profession. Back then, it was quite a closed-off field, dominated by a select few.
Ah, so they were like the Robin Hoods of accounting, fighting for the rights of the number-crunching masses.
You could say that. They wanted to open up the profession to a wider range of people, regardless of their background or social standing. And you know what's really cool? Just 5 years after they were founded, they elected their first female associate member.
Get out of town. Back in 1909. That's pretty progressive for the time. Who was this trailblazing woman?
Her name was Ethel Ayres Purdy, and get this, she was the first woman to become a member of AMLY accounting professional body worldwide.
Talk about breaking glass ceilings. Even back then, ACCA was ahead of the curve. Okay, so we've got a global organization with a rich history and a reputation for excellence. But how does one actually become a chartered certified accountant? It sounds pretty intimidating.
Well, it's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. The main qualification, the Chartered Certified Accountant designation, involves a few key steps. First, you've got to pass 13 exams.
13. Are you serious? That's a lot of exams. I barely made it through high school with my sanity intact.
It does require dedication and hard work. But in addition to the exams, you also need 3 years of relevant work experience and have to complete an ethics module.
Ah, so they're not just looking for number-crunching robots. They want well-rounded, ethical professionals. Makes sense. I wouldn't want someone handling my finances who doesn't know the difference between right and wrong. But let's talk about those 13 exams. What are those like?
They cover a wide range of topics, from financial accounting and management accounting to taxation, auditing, and business strategy. It's designed to give you a comprehensive understanding of all aspects of accounting and finance.
So it's not just about memorizing formulas and crunching numbers. There's a real strategic element to it.
Absolutely. ACCA is all about developing strategic thinkers who can apply their knowledge to real-world business situations.
Okay, I'm starting to see why this qualification is so highly valued. It's not just a technical skill set. It's about developing a broad business mindset. But I have to admit, those exams still sound pretty daunting. What if you're not some kind of accounting prodigy? Is there a more gradual way to get into the world of ACCA?
ACCA has that covered too. They offer a pathway called Foundations in Accountancy, or FIA, specifically designed for those who are new to the field or don't have any formal qualifications in accounting.
So it's like a stepping stone into the world of ACCA, a way to test the waters before diving into the deep end. Tell me more about this FIA route. What's involved?
It's a structured program with different levels, starting with introductory certificates in financial and management accounting. You can then work your way up to a diploma in accounting and business.
So you can gradually build your knowledge and skills,
Mm-hmm.
which is perfect for someone like me who wouldn't know a balance sheet from a bed sheet.
Exactly. And what's great about FIA is that it's recognized by many employers worldwide, so it can open doors to entry-level accounting roles, even before you complete the full ACCA qualification.
So it's not just a stepping stone. It's a valuable qualification in its own right. That's pretty cool. And I read something about ACCAX online courses. What's the deal with those? Are those part of the FIA pathway?
Not exactly, but it's another way ACCA makes accounting education more accessible. ACCAX offers a range of online courses for those studying accountancy and business, and guess what? They even have some free courses available.
Free. Now you're talking my language. I love a good bargain. But seriously, that's fantastic. It opens up a world of possibilities for people who might not have access to traditional education. So, we've got the main qualification, the FIA route, and online courses. ACCA really does seem to cater to a wide range of learners, from beginners to seasoned professionals.
They absolutely do. And once you've completed the necessary requirements and become a member, there are different membership levels, including affiliate and fellowship statuses.
Hold on. Fellowship? Like a secret society of accountants with their own secret handshake and decoder rings?
Not quite, but it does signify a higher level of experience and expertise within ACCA. And here's something interesting. Fellowship is granted automatically after 5 years of membership, unlike some other accounting bodies, where you have to jump through hoops to earn it.
So they reward loyalty. I like their style. But tell me, what are the real benefits of being an ACCA member? Besides the fancy title, why should our listener care about all this?
Well, ACCA membership gives you access to a global network of professionals, provides continuing education and resources, and enhances your credibility in the job market. It's a stamp of approval that tells employers you're the real deal.
Okay. So it's not just about the letters after your name. It's about building a career, connecting with other professionals,
Nice.
and constantly learning and growing. That makes a lot of sense. But isn't accounting kind of, well, location specific? Wouldn't you need different qualifications to work in different countries?
That's a great question. And that's where ACCA's global recognition really shines. They have specific advantages and recognition in different regions of the world. Let's take a closer look at some examples.
All right. Let's travel the world through the lens of ACCA. Where should we start our accounting adventure?
Well, since you mentioned feeling a bit intimidated by all those exams, let's start with a region that might pique your interest. Oceania, specifically. Australia and New Zealand.
Okay. So we're heading down under kangaroos, koalas, and accountants. What's the ACCA scene like in that part of the world?
ACCA has a pretty strong presence in both countries, with offices in major cities and a robust network of members.
So it's not just a random outpost. They've got a real foothold there.
Yeah.
But what about recognition? Are Australian and New Zealand employers impressed by the ACCA qualification?
Definitely. ACCA qualifications are recognized by key professional bodies, like CPA Australia and the Institute of Public Accountants for Skills Assessment, which is crucial for immigration purposes.
So if our listener is dreaming of working alongside those adorable koalas, ACCA could help them make that dream a reality.
It's a strong starting point. And here's where it gets even more interesting. They have a strategic alliance with Chartered Accountants Australia and New Zealand, also known as CAANZ.
Hold on. A strategic alliance, is that like a secret accounting society? Where they meet in dimly lit rooms and discuss the global domination spreadsheets?
Not quite that dramatic, but it's a significant partnership that opens up additional pathways and networking opportunities for ACA members.
Okay, so it's not a secret society.
Right.
But it's still pretty cool. So even though ACCA isn't the dominant accounting body there, they've found a way to make their mark and create opportunities for their members. That's impressive. Now, I'm curious about Asia. It's a massive continent with some of the fastest growing economies in the world. I imagine there's a huge demand for qualified accountants in that part of the world.
You are absolutely right. Asia is a hotbed for accounting talent, and ACCA has a particularly strong presence in countries like China, Malaysia, Singapore, and Hong Kong.
Let's start with China. It's an economic powerhouse, and I've heard they're really strict about professional qualifications.
Yeah.
How does ACCA fare in that environment?
ACCA has been growing rapidly in China. They've established partnerships with over 40 Chinese universities, including some of the most prestigious institutions in the country.
So they're not just sitting on the sidelines, they're actively engaging with the Chinese education system.
Exactly, and that's key to gaining recognition and building credibility in the Chinese market. They also have a network of offices across major cities and a large and growing membership base.
Okay, so they're not just dipping their toes in the water, they're diving headfirst into the Chinese market. But why is ACCA so appealing to Chinese students and professionals? What sets it apart from local qualifications?
Well, for one, ACCA demonstrates international credibility and a commitment to professional standards, which are highly valued in the Chinese business world.
So it's like a stamp of approval from the global accounting community.
Precisely. And as China continues to expand its role in the global economy, having an internationally recognized qualification like ACCA becomes even more valuable. It opens doors to opportunities, both within China and on the international stage.
That makes perfect sense. It's like having a bilingual business card, giving you an edge in both local and global markets. Now, what about Malaysia? It's another economic powerhouse in Southeast Asia. What's the ACCA story there?
ACCA is well established in Malaysia and enjoys recognition from the Malaysian Institute of Accountants, also known as MIA.
Okay, so they've got the local stamp of approval. That's a good sign.
But here's what's really interesting. They also have a mutual recognition agreement with the Malaysian Institute of Certified Public Accountants, or MICPA.
Hold on. A mutual recognition agreement. That sounds pretty official. What does that even mean?
It basically means that ACCA members can potentially gain membership in these local bodies, which opens up even more career opportunities.
So it's like a two-for-one deal. You get the global recognition of ACCA and the local recognition of the Malaysian institutes. That's a win-win situation.
Exactly. It gives ACCA members flexibility and choice in their career paths. They can leverage their qualifications to pursue opportunities in both multinational companies and local Malaysian firms.
Now, that's what I call strategic career planning. Speaking of strategic planning, what about Singapore? It's known for being a global financial hub. With strict regulations, how does ACCA fit into that landscape?
Singapore is a unique and challenging market, that's for sure. While ACCA members previously had a pathway to becoming chartered accountants of Singapore, that pathway has recently evolved.
Evolved. Is that a diplomatic way of saying things have gotten more complicated?
It's definitely become more nuanced. The accounting profession in Singapore is constantly adapting to global trends and regulatory changes. So, while ACCA is still a respected qualification, it's crucial for anyone considering working in Singapore to stay updated on the latest regulations and pathways.
So it's not a simple plug-and-play situation. You need to do your research.
Yeah.
And make sure you understand the specific requirements for Singapore.
Okay. Noted. Now, what about Hong Kong? It's another major financial hub with a fascinating history. How's ACCA doing in that part of the world?
ACCA has a long and interesting relationship with Hong Kong's accounting body, the HKICPA. They've had periods of close collaboration and periods of, let's say, creative tension.
Sounds like a bit of a roller coaster ride. But through it all, has ACCA managed to maintain a strong presence in Hong Kong? Absolutely. ACCA is still a highly regarded qualification in Hong Kong's competitive job market.
So even with the ups and downs, ACCA has proven its resilience and adaptability in the Hong Kong market. That speaks volumes about their commitment to global recognition and their ability to navigate complex regulatory landscapes.
Exactly. And that's a key takeaway for our listener. ACCA is not just about providing a qualification, it's about providing a pathway to success in a rapidly changing global environment.
Okay. We've covered a lot of ground in Asia. Let's shift gears and explore another continent that's often overlooked, but brimming with potential. Africa.
Africa is a continent of incredible diversity, both in terms of its cultures and its economies. And ACCA's presence reflects that diversity. They've been actively involved in developing the accounting profession in Africa for many years, with a focus on building capacity, promoting ethical standards, and supporting economic growth.
That's fantastic. So they're not just parachuting in and handing out certificates. They're taking a long-term sustainable approach to building a stronger accounting profession in Africa. Where are they focusing their efforts? Which countries are they most active in?
They have a significant presence in a wide range of countries, including Kenya, Namibia, South Africa, and Zimbabwe.
Let's start with Kenya. It's known for its entrepreneurial spirit and a rapidly growing economy. What role does ACCA play in that context?
ACCA is recognized by the Kenyan government and works closely with local universities and accounting bodies to provide education and training opportunities.
So it's helping to create a pipeline of qualified accountants to support Kenya's economic growth.
Precisely. And it's not just about filling jobs. It's about equipping professionals with the skills and knowledge they need to drive innovation, create value, and make a positive impact on their communities.
That's what I like to hear. It's about empowerment, not just employment.
Yeah.
What about Namibia? I've heard they have a strong focus on good governance and transparency.
That's right. And ACCA's emphasis on ethical conduct and professional standards aligns perfectly with those values. They have full accreditation status as a professional body in Namibia, which means they meet the highest standards of quality and integrity.
So they're not just ticking boxes, they're walking the walk when it comes to ethics and professionalism. Now, let's talk about South Africa. It's a major economic player on the continent. But I've heard there are some unique challenges for ACCA members there. What's the situation?
South Africa is an interesting case. While ACCA is recognized for tax purposes, they don't currently have a mutual recognition agreement with the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants, unlike some other international accounting bodies.
So that creates a bit of a hurdle for ACCA members who want to become fully qualified in South Africa.
It can be a challenge, but it's not insurmountable. ACCA is still a respected qualification, and many employers in South Africa value the international perspective and expertise that ACCA members bring to the table.
So it's not a deal breaker. Yeah. But it's something to be aware of if you're considering a career in South Africa. Now, what about Zimbabwe? It's faced its share of economic challenges in recent years, but I've heard that ACCA is playing a key role in its recovery. Is that true?
Absolutely. ACCA is actively involved in rebuilding Zimbabwe's accounting profession. They're one of the constituent bodies of the Public Accountants and Auditors Board, or PAE, which is the statutory body that regulates the profession in Zimbabwe.
So they're right at the heart of ensuring high standards and ethical conduct in Zimbabwe's accounting sector. That's fantastic.
It's a testament to their commitment to supporting the development of the profession, even in challenging environments. And that's a recurring theme we see with ACCA throughout Africa. They're not just about awarding qualifications, they're about empowering individuals and building a brighter future for the continent.
Okay. We've covered a lot of ground in Africa. Let's hop over to South America and the Caribbean, a region that's known for its vibrant cultures and diverse economies. What's the ACCA story in that part of the world?
South America and the Caribbean present a fascinating mix of opportunities and challenges for the accounting profession. As we mentioned earlier, ACCA is an affiliate of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of the Caribbean, or ACCA.
Right, that gives them a strong foothold in the Caribbean. But what about South America? Is their influence as strong there?
South America is a vast and complex region, with a wide range of accounting regulations and professional standards. ACCA's presence is growing, but it varies from country to country.
So it's a bit of a mixed bag. What are some of the key challenges ACCA faces in establishing a strong presence in South America?
Well, one challenge is the diversity of accounting regulations across different countries. Some countries have adopted international accounting standards, while others still rely on local standards. This can create barriers to entry for ACCA members, who may need to take additional exams or meet specific requirements to practice in certain countries.
So it's not as straightforward as some other regions, where ACCA enjoys broader recognition.
Exactly. But despite these challenges, ACCA is making significant inroads in South America. They're actively promoting the adoption of international accounting standards, developing specialized training programs for key industries, and supporting the growth of small and medium-sized enterprises, which are vital to the region's economy.
So they're not just focused on the big multinational companies, they're also supporting the backbone of the economy. That's great to hear. Now, we've circled the globe with ACCA. We've seen their successes, their challenges, and their unwavering commitment to promoting a strong and ethical accounting profession worldwide. But I think it's time to bring it back to our listener. What does all this mean for someone who's considering pursuing an ACCA qualification?
That's a great question. I think the most important takeaway is that ACCA opens doors to a world of possibilities. It's a qualification that's recognized and respected globally, providing a pathway to a fulfilling and rewarding career in accounting, no matter where in the world you aspire to work.
It's about embracing a global mindset, challenging yourself to learn and grow, and connecting with a network of professionals who share your passion for accounting. And with ACCA by your side, you're not just getting a qualification, you're joining a community that will support you every step of the way.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Now, before we wrap up this epic global accounting adventure, let's delve into some specific details about what ACCA offers in different regions. We've painted the broad strokes, but I think our listener is ready for some nitty-gritty details.
I'm happy to oblige.
Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back with even more insights into the world of ACCA. All right, we're back and ready to wrap up our global ACCA odyssey. We've explored the mountains of Asia, the savannas of Africa, the beaches of Oceania. But we haven't talked much about the heart of it all, where ACCA began.
You're right. Let's head back to the UK and Ireland, where ACCA's roots run deep. It's a great example of how ACCA not only operates within a country, but actively shapes the profession.
Okay, so we're going back to the land of Big Ben, castles, and, well, accountants, I guess. What makes ACCA stand out in the UK and Ireland's accounting scene? Isn't it already crowded with tons of professional bodies?
It is a competitive landscape, but ACCA holds its own. One key factor is its membership in the Consultative Committee of Accountancy Bodies, or CCB. It's like the all-star team of UK and Irish accounting organizations.
So it's like being part of an exclusive club, only for accounting rock stars. What's so special about being in the CCAB?
Well, for starters, it gives ACCA a voice in shaping accounting regulations and standards in the UK and Ireland. They're not just following the rules, they're helping to write them.
So they're not just players, they're influencers. That's pretty impressive. But what does it mean for the average ACCA member? What are the perks?
Think of it as a network of networks. CCA membership allows ACCA to collaborate and share knowledge with other leading bodies. This translates into more resources and professional development opportunities for their members.
So, it's like a giant knowledge-sharing buffet for ACCA members.
I'm starting to see why this CCA membership is such a big deal. But are there any specific benefits for ACCA members in the UK and Ireland beyond the CCKB thing?
Absolutely. For example, ACCA members can apply for membership in the ICAEW, which stands for the Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales. It's a prestigious body with a long history, and having that dual membership can definitely boost your career prospects.
So you're not just an ACCA member, you're a double certified accounting superstar. That's a powerful combination. But what about practical matters? Can ACCA members actually do the hands-on work, like audits and stuff, in the UK and Ireland?
Of course. ACCA is recognized as a recognized qualifying body and a recognized supervisory body under the UK Companies Act. They're also authorized to issue permits for insolvency appointments. This means ACCA members are fully qualified to handle a wide range of accounting work, from audits to insolvency cases.
So they're not just sitting in ivory towers, theorizing about accounting principles. They're out there in the trenches, getting their hands dirty. Exactly. And that's a key strength of ACCA. Their qualification is grounded in practical, real-world application, which is why it's so highly valued by employers.
Okay. I'm impressed. Now, you mentioned earlier that ACCA is recognized as a postgraduate level qualification in Ireland. What's the story behind that?
Right. The Quality and Qualifications Ireland, or QQI, placed the ACCA qualification at level 8 on their National Framework of Qualifications, which is the highest level. It means your ACCA qualification is equivalent to a master's degree or a postgraduate diploma in Ireland.
Hold on. So you're telling me that little piece of paper from ACCA is basically like having a master's degree in Ireland? That's a pretty big deal.
It is. It opens up doors to higher education and advanced career opportunities. Employers in Ireland recognize the value of that level 8 designation.
Now that's what I call a smart investment.
Okay.
We've covered the UK and Ireland, the birthplace of ACCA. Let's zoom out again and look at Europe as a whole. We know ACCA is legally recognized across the European Union, but are there any countries or regions where they have a particularly strong presence?
ACCA has a solid footprint across Europe, but they've made significant inroads in countries like France, Germany, and Spain. These are major economic players with sophisticated business environments. And ACCA's global perspective and emphasis on ethics resonate well with their cultures.
So for our listeners fantasizing about working in Paris, Berlin, or sipping sangria in Madrid while balancing spreadsheets, ACCA could be their ticket.
It's a great foundation. And the beauty of working in Europe is the emphasis on harmonizing professional qualifications across member countries. This means ACCA members can leverage their qualifications more easily within the EU, expanding their career options significantly.
It's like having an all-access pass to the European accounting scene.
Yeah.
Now, let's jump across the pond to North America. We've talked about the U.S. and Canada, but what about Mexico? It's a major economy, and I'm curious about ACCA's influence there.
Mexico is an interesting market. While ACCA isn't as dominant there as in some other regions, their presence is growing. Mexico's accounting profession is closely aligned with U.S. standards. So ACCA's global recognition and focus on international accounting standards are valuable assets for those looking to work in Mexico.
So even though ACCA isn't a household name in Mexico,
Yeah.
it can still give you a competitive edge.
Absolutely. And as Mexico's economy continues to integrate with global markets, the demand for professionals with international accounting expertise will only increase.
Sounds like a great opportunity for aspiring ACCA members.
Yeah.
Who are looking for a unique and challenging career path. Now, I know we've touched upon Australia, New Zealand. But is there anything else about Oceania that our listeners should know?
ACCA's qualifications are highly sought after by employers in Oceania, especially those with international operations. The region is a hub for industries like mining, energy, and financial services. And ACCA's global perspective and focus on ethics are particularly valuable in these sectors.
So it's not just about crunching numbers. It's about understanding the bigger picture, navigating complex global markets, and maintaining high ethical standards.
Exactly, and that's what sets ACCA apart in Oceania. Their qualification equips you not just for today's business challenges, but for the future of accounting in a rapidly changing world.
Okay. We've explored just about every corner of the globe with ACCA. It's been an incredible journey, and I think our listener now has a much deeper understanding of the global reach and impact of this organization.
I hope so. We've covered a lot of ground. But the key takeaway is that ACCA opens doors to a world of possibilities. It's not just a qualification, it's a passport to a fulfilling and rewarding career in accounting, wherever your ambitions may lead you.
It's about embracing a global mindset, pushing your boundaries, and connecting with a community of passionate and driven professionals who share your love for accounting.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, that concludes our deep dive into the world of ACCA. I hope you've enjoyed the journey as much as we have. Remember, the world of accounting is full of surprises and opportunities. It's not just about numbers. It's about strategy, ethics, innovation, and connecting with the global community. And with ACCA, you're well equipped to navigate this exciting landscape. Best of luck on your accounting adventure. And until next time, keep diving deep.